We interrupt this program to bring you this important news bulletin. We are receiving unconfirmed reports right now of random acts of violence and mass murder all over the city by what are described as bloody corpses in a trance-like state.
You probably think you could survive a zombie outbreak, don't you? Well, that's what everyone thought when it first started. They knew exactly who they wanted in their squad, which weapons they'd use to efficiently destroy the undead, and they even had the perfect home base scouted out. But it was so much more complicated than that. What people didn't think of was how each day would be one step closer to a complete collapse of the infrastructure we all rely on. Yeah, with no one maintaining them, water supplies would quickly become contaminated. In just a few months, GPS technology would fail. And, oh yeah, what about all those nuclear power plants operating with no one at the helm? How long until they start melting down and releasing catastrophic radiation? Luckily for you, we've put together a guide to help you survive these unexpected dangers. Month 1. Get out. According to a model designed by scientists at Cornell University, densely populated cities would be the first places to be overtaken. And it would happen astonishingly quickly. You'll want to escape to somewhere rural, but just make sure you're not near any nuclear power plants. Without human oversight, reactors could start melting down in the first few days or weeks. A lot of reactors have safety systems built in, but it's only a matter of time before those fail too. Governments may mandate quarantines to halt the infection, so you'd need to hurry, but before leaving the city, collect as many non-perishable goods as possible. Canned food and bottled water will save your life. Also, bring along any camping equipment you have. Sleeping bags, portable solar panels, and thermal clothes will be essential. And it's weird, but even during civilization's collapse, your cell phone will be crucial for survival. I'll tell you why a little bit later, but for now, just keep it charged and save the battery as much as you can. Month 2. Establish a camp. After spending a few weeks in a mountain camp, it's tempting to seek a cozy cabin for shelter. However, it's safer to steer clear of places like this. They may be occupied by hostile survivors, or they may have already been breached by zombies. Your bottled water supply is likely diminishing, so it's crucial to find fresh water sources. Listen for lakes or rivers, but avoid setting up camp too close to them, as they'll attract potentially unfriendly survivors. And don't forget to sterilize water before drinking it. You can do that by placing it in a glass or plastic bottle and exposing it to sunlight for at least 6 hours. Month 3. Hunt. Well, it's finally happened. Your canned food supply is gone, and you need to learn how to hunt. You'll be going after smaller prey like rabbits, squirrels, and possibly wild pigs. You're better off using traps to avoid unnecessary risks and injuries. Always cook anything you catch. Without pharmacies and medicine, you don't want to get food poisoning and die. Month 4. Scavenge. According to modeling by scientists at Leicester University in England, humanity would be overtaken by zombies on the 100th day, so you may be dead by this point. However, this model didn't consider human adaptability and resilience. Nonetheless, consuming undercooked food in the wild could make you or your companions ill, so you'll need to start exploring villages in order to scavenge medicines. Okay, if your phone still has some battery life, it'll be useful even after societal collapse. Experts estimate that GPS technology would last at least 6 months before failing due to neglected maintenance. So turn on your phone, pull up a map of your area and try to locate a village with a potentially stocked pharmacy or grocery store. Month 5. Move. Zombies and human survivors will almost certainly be moving at all times. Be vigilant for signs of groups getting close to your shelter. You may need to move to a more secure location. After the initial outbreak, fortified buildings like prisons may be the best place to set up camp. And be prepared to defend your new home from both zombies and hostile humans. Repair any damaged fences or walls and make an evacuation plan. This place won't be safe forever. Month 6. Grow. Once you find a defendable long-term location, well, you should start growing food. Stick to crops that don't require extensive growth periods, like corn and potatoes. They'll be ready to harvest in 2 or 3 months. Month 7. Strengthen up. Even when you secure your shelter and food supply, you'll still have needs you can't fulfill by yourself. Try to find other survivors you can trust and build an alliance. Exchanging food for tools and clothes would be a great idea. However, be cautious. In a situation like this, every stranger is a threat. Scientific estimations suggest that for any human community to thrive, it would need no fewer than 98 people. So, if you find other reliable groups of humans, invite them to join your community and increase your chances of survival. Month 8. Store. Okay, the weather will start changing soon, making it harder to hunt and grow food. You need to produce and store as much food as you can. You can preserve meat using salt, but use the leaner cuts for this, since the more fat meat has, the more likely it is to go rancid. Potatoes can last for months in a cool, dry place, so start saving them for the winter. Month 9. Mapping your territory. The world is now plagued with gangs taking advantage of safe and thriving communities like yours. You need to be vigilant. The only way to know what's happening in your surroundings is to designate scouts to explore the terrain. Month 10. Fortify. The number of infected is increasing daily. By now, hordes of zombies are making their way to the mountains. Get prepared. Fortify your shelter with fences and traps to keep them away from your community. But you'll soon realize that zombies may not be your biggest problem. Month 11. Prepare to fight. Zombies aren't really capable of planning calculated attacks. The real danger will come from organized groups of desperate humans who won't hesitate to kill you and steal your food and supplies. After this many months, they're unlikely to have ammunition for guns, so be prepared to fight them the old-fashioned way. Be ready with knives, baseball bats, and metal rods. Month 12. Build a new civilization. Okay, you've been living this nightmare for almost a year now. Society, as you knew it, has vanished. It's time now to start building a new civilization. And new generations will need all the essential knowledge you have today. You need to write down all this knowledge and pass it on to future generations of survivors so that they can protect themselves in the event this happens again. Think about how you learned to escape these brain-eating hordes, the best ways to fight them, and the different ways to amass supplies. Now, if you need help remembering, watch our video about making it through the first week of this nightmare, here on How to Survive.
Good evening, all, and good morning and good afternoon, depending on where you're watching from. Can you see this video? How they are telling us that the zombie apocalypse is coming very soon. That there will be zombie apocalypse. Child of God, after April 8, solar eclipse that take place in United States of America, another thing that we should expect coming on the way is zombie apocalypse and the cyber attack. In that video, you see how people are turning to zombie, eating their fellow human beings' body. And in that video, they show us how internet is going to fail. Child of God, I want to tell you that the movie industry are not ignorant of what they're doing. Neither are they doing something coincident. They are the most wisest people in the world. That was last year. I have a dream of zombie apocalypse. Why I was coming back from evangelism. Then it came to the place I have to go and buy a fuel to fuel my vehicle while I was coming back from evangelism. Something happened. That after buying that fuel to fuel my vehicle, I have to come down. In one junction that I came down, I was there standing in that junction. I don't know what I was doing there in that junction, in that dream. But there was a lot of people in that junction within a twinkling of an eye. People, those human beings, those crowd in that junction begin to turn to zombie and begin to eat the human flesh. But the most important thing there is that this thing happened by suddenly, unexpected. Even to me, it happened unexpected. And that happened inside the town. It was in the town that thing happened. What am I trying to say? Zombie apocalypse is coming. It is not a coincidence that they are showing it a movie. And in that movie, you can see that they are telling people to pack out from the town and move to the countryside. Child of God, something troublous is coming after April 8th. Many people did not repent from what happened in April 8th, but they're going to see more and more. Something troublous is coming. And God has revealed to me once again what is going to happen in 2025. There's going to be another lockdown. There is going to be a sickness. The Bible word, the word of God in the book of Jeremiah 16, that people we are dying like animals are going to fulfill in 2025. Watch out what is going to happen. Another heavy lockdown, more than the one that happened in 2025, 2020 is coming. Child of God. Not only that, cyber attack is coming upon US. Last month, I was in the dream. Flight that was traveling from one part of the country to other started falling down. All of them lose their control. And very soon, listen to me very well. I am prophesying according to what the Lord revealed to me in the dream, that you're going to be seeing cyber attack all the part of the world. Some flight will be flying on the air and they will fall down, and many lives will be lost. You'll be hearing cyber attack in the sea, cyber attack in the train, cyber attack in the ocean, cyber attack all the part of the world is coming. Cyber attack in television, cyber attack even in the car. If you watch the movie called Fast and Furious, you will see how they hijack and they track all the vehicle in Brazil to get their president. Child of God, something turbulent is coming. And there is going to be a heavy cyber attack in United States of America. This is a day of trouble. We are heading to the time of Jacob's trouble. We are heading to the time of sorrow and pain. But the word of God says in the book of Psalms 9 verse 9, that the name of the Lord is a mighty tower, the righteous run into it and they are saved. Child of God, cyber attack and zombie apocalypse is coming. Get ready for it. Run to Jesus and surrender your sin to him now before it will be too late. something troublous is coming upon the world. The one that happened in April 8th, people in the United States of America did not repent on it, but rather they were rejoicing. It is a sign. I'm going to tell you the dream that the Lord revealed to me before April 8th. That was in the 3rd of this month. In the next video, I'm going to tell you the dream that the Lord revealed to me. Jesus appeared to me in that dream. I'm going to tell you about that dream in the next video. Watch this video to show you that cyber attack is coming upon US. Watch this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like. If you have a question, I'm going to place my number in the description box there. You can call me, ask a question. If you need prayers, you can call me. I can pray for you by the grace of God. Watch this video. The Lord will bless you through this video. Watch and get ready for what is coming. Thank you.
In the House Select Committee on China and House Homeland Security, Congressman Carlos Jimenez. Your reaction to that report, because this is concerning and rattling lawmakers in D.C., and also we're hearing the White House as well, that China, also on top of all what Jillian reported, also tried to break into the operator of the Texas power grid. They operate independently from electrical systems in the rest of the U.S. We understand the U.S. electrical system is not connected. But the level of China's intrusion here and their intent is deeply worrying.
Yes, it is. And today we had a hearing in Homeland Security on the cybersecurity issues here in the United States. And yeah, it's becoming more and more apparent to us that China is preparing to launch some kind of a all-out cyber attack on the United States if, in fact, we find ourselves in conflict with them over Taiwan. And what's really scary about it is that it used to take an army of folks launching all of these attacks against us, but now with artificial intelligence, you know, just a handful of people can start to launch cyber attacks all over across the United States using artificial intelligence. So yeah, it's becoming a real threat to the American homeland.
Do you see how they're planting the flag? They went after a port on the West Coast, that's China, saying we could shut down a port. They went into a Hawaiian water system in Hawaii. We can shut down water in Hawaii. They went into Texas's power grid, saying we can shut down possibly Texas's power grid, maybe during a heat wave, who knows?
Yeah, well, they can do that and much more. And so if these are just probing attacks, demonstrations, if you know, for
but
lack
what
of a
is
better
the White
word.
House doing to stop it? What is the government doing to protect Americans out here?
Well, that's why we had these hearings, and what is the Department of Homeland Security doing to make sure that we are resilient in any attack that China may launch against us? You know, one of the things that I asked is, look, eventually this is going to be artificial intelligence against artificial intelligence, and who has the smarter artificial intelligence is going to win out. But we also have to have resilience so that if, in fact, an attack does penetrate our systems, either the grid, pipelines, et cetera, that we have resiliency so that we can disconnect that and go back to more of a manual method so that we're not as vulnerable as we could be if we just relied on digital systems.
Yeah, I mean, it is likely a good thing that the U.S. power grid is that each state or region has their own systems and they're not interconnected. So that's a good thing. I mean, so there's this concern, and Congressman, you know, you've heard this, the United Nations, they just wrapped up their big climate summit in Dubai, but Al Gore is outraged. There's no mention of doing away with fossil fuels anywhere in the official wrap-up, that they didn't do enough to say, yeah, phase out fossil fuels. I mean, people in Africa and Uganda saying, you want to keep us in permanent poverty. So you have that wing of the Democrat Party pushing on that front. You've got to push back against them from other nations saying, we want economic growth. We want prosperity. Stop telling us what to do. We got to do what we need to get the electricity and the power we need, as this is happening with China.
Yeah, listen. The path to prosperity is cheap energy, and the cheapest energy right now is fossil fuels. That Al Gore can't get these developing countries to say, no, we'll stop using fossil fuels and we'll continue to burn cow dung or something like that is just beyond the pale. And that shows you just how out of touch Al Gore really is. Look, the world is going to need fossil fuels, and they're going to need fossil fuels for a long time, 70, 80, 90 years in the future. And it should be American fossil fuel that should be powering the world. We can reduce carbon dioxide dioxide emissions if we just convert our coal to natural gas. And we have an abundance of natural gas here in the United States that we can use around the world.
I got to move to this. Argentina. Argentina, its new president, is rejecting socialism and communism in South America, which is loaded with a lot of nations suffering under communism and socialism. Congressman, you, with your family, fled the Cuban Revolution to come here to the United States. What do you make of Argentina's new president, Javier Milei? He's promising the people of Argentina that he will slash the size of government, and he's doing it. He's delivering. He now recently cut the number of government offices and bureaucracies by a dozen, and he's not finished yet. This is the first time in decades Argentina is not ruled by socialist communists. This is a big turning point in South America's battle against hyperinflation and economic decline.
Yeah, and he's also, he's saying that he wants to dollarize the Argentina economy. The Argentinian economy has got, running at 1,000% inflation and stuff like that. And so this is a breath of fresh air. I hope that the United States actually helps him, supports him. He's a friend of the United States, and unfortunately, far too many times Biden will try to hurt our friends and then help our enemies. This guy is really one of our friends, and I'm glad that some of my colleagues went down there for the inauguration. They got really good vibes out of him and his ministers, and we need to support this and support more of this down in Central and South America. We really need to start focusing on our own backyard and helping our own neighbors. And this is a step in the right direction.
Congressman Jimenez, thank you. Thank you for sharing your story. It's good to see you.